Hello, I'm Don Peppers, and welcome to Peppers Unplugged. This week, I am in Singapore. I'm addressing the Tax-Free World Association Convention, which is a convention of duty-free shops that operate at international airports. I'm also doing a few other things around the country. You know, I'm fascinated every time I come to Singapore. I mean, this little city-state at the tip of the Malaysian peninsula it's just amazing. Singapore is a benevolent dictatorship, you'd probably say. Actually, it's more like a business than a country. Singapore is run just like a business. There's planned development. All the social issues seem to be taken care of. In fact, the government has introduced a program to encourage romance among young Singapore couples to increase the population of native-born citizens. Things like traffic. You know, when you buy a car in Singapore, you have to have a car permit first because they want to control the number of cars on the road. And when you buy the car, it comes with an automatic radio tag in there. And if you're speeding in Singapore, well, they just mail you a ticket. No traffic cops need to patrol the highways. Things run pretty smoothly in Singapore. There are a few tougher things to live with. No chewing gum is allowed in Singapore. They don't want people having their shoes gummed up on sidewalks by discarded chewing gum, and you can understand that. Also, William Gibson, who wrote the book Neuromancer and coined the term cyberspace, he says Singapore is really like Disneyland with the death penalty. And sure enough, every year they hang 30 or 40 drug traffickers, which they define as anybody caught with 100 grams or more of illegal drugs on their person. It's a mandatory death penalty. There's no appeal, and it is usually carried out within about 30 days of conviction. So anyway, here I am in Singapore, and one of the audiences I addressed was the American Chamber of Commerce, AmCham, as we say. And there's an American Chamber of Commerce in most foreign countries around the world. One of the audience members came up to me afterwards and related a story that reminded me of some social research that has been done about how people's control of their environment affects their attitudes toward work. Social scientists have shown that if two groups of people are tasked with a complex and difficult issue to solve, maybe puzzles and things like that, and loud distracting noise is being played in the background, one group of people is told that there's a button they can push if they want to stop the noise. Well, it turns out that the group that has that button almost always tends to do better on the puzzles, solving them faster and more effectively. And yet, they rarely actually use the button. And what that shows is that just simply having control over your environment, having authority to do things for your own benefit or to make your own decisions, that has an interesting effect on your ability to think clearly and make good decisions. The story the woman told me at the AmCham conference was of a mobile phone operator in one of the countries down in that region of the world where the call center reps were all authorized to grant up to $100 in credits to solve customer service problems and satisfy complaining customers. They could use their discretion. And what they found was that there were a lot of call center reps, granting $100 here, $100 there. And then they changed the policy. They said, okay, instead of imposing a maximum of $100, we're going to allow our call center reps to grant any amount of credit they think is reasonable. Any credit. So there's no longer this restriction. And ironically, she said, what happened was the amount of award, on average, actually declined as call center reps took more careful consideration of how much was the appropriate reward or how much was the appropriate compensation for some problem or damage that had been done to the customer relationship.